Hello, my name is Kelly McCown. I'm a teacher, author, and the owner of Teaching Math and More LLC. Today on the Teaching Math and More channel, we are talking about part 3 of the 5-part series on how to achieve math mastery in your classroom to help your students achieve success in mathematics. Where do you start? The goal of math mastery is to teach your students a deeper understanding of math so that they have acquired the fundamental concepts by the end of the school year. What math skills do you want your students to master? Math mastery is a way of teaching math skills to your students in a meaningful way. Teaching math mastery doesn't have to be stressful or overwhelming. Let's look at teaching note-taking skills for math mastery in your classroom. Math mastery is a teaching approach with 5 parts. Step 1 is vocabulary. Step 2 of math mastery, that's the hands-on activities. We talked about that in our last video. Today we're looking at part 3 of math mastery, and it is notes, explanatory area of math mastery, where your students will explain what they're learning. This can be scaffolded to students with provided notes. Greater understanding comes when students write their own notes. Students explain what they've been learning with help from the teacher. Note-taking is a practice with scaffolded activities. Before assigning notes, ask yourself, who's doing the learning? Is it a student-centered activity? Is this a scaffolded activity? Is it a method where you, the teacher, are offering some kind of support for developing a math skill? Teaching how to explain. It comes down to this. Do you teach your students how to explain math? Do you use math chats? Do you use scaffolded notes or writing notes in class in a meaningful way? Do you use written math journal responses or have your students write well-written responses to a math situation? Math chats encourage students to talk and explain about a concept. Teachers use these as bell ringers typically. You can also do math chats during a lesson or at the end to summarize student knowledge. When doing a math chat, you can talk about a problem, how to solve a problem, or analyze and look for errors in a solution to the problem. These are all meaningful ways to summarize and scaffold learning. Students should be practicing math chats in class weekly, if not daily. Taking notes is an explanatory and summatory task. Note-taking is a great way to scaffold learning with students. Learning gains can be great when summarizing and note-taking up to 34% learnings gained. Wow. It's definitely an effective method when used correctly. Do not take notes for your students. Handwritten notes are still one of the top ways to transfer and retain knowledge to your brain. It's more powerful and meaningful when the student is writing the notes. Do not photocopy notes. Have students fill in the blanks or write the notes entirely themselves. The notes I'm showing on this page are from the Teaching Math and More shop. There are 3 versions included. The first is the teacher version, the second is the fill in the blank, and the third version is entirely blank where the students have to write their own notes. This helps your students make sense and develop the math concepts for themselves with a deeper understanding. Also included is an example of an interactive math notebook in which students can create their own notes and annotations in their notebooks. Writing responses is one part of the math mastery approach that needs to be taught. Teaching your students how to write well-written math responses to word problems. Start a math journal or practice writing well-written responses to word problems daily. Writing is something that needs to be practiced and scaffolded. It builds a deeper understanding of math concepts, which helps your students develop math mastery of concepts. And when students are able to express in words what they understand, that leads towards math mastery. When teaching students how to explain math concepts for the first time, you may have some questions about how it will run more smoothly. Here are some tips that have helped. Number 1, have a template. Students love and need structure. Find note activities that work for your students. Teach one method of note-taking that your students can easily understand. Include in your math mastery notes for this video on pages 16 and 17 are 2 templates. The first template for you is the math topic notes, and the second template for you is the folded notes. If you would like to grab a copy of this template, there's a link in the resources and notes of this video's description. Number 2, write a summary. Explanatory note-taking activities are meant to be summatory. Students need to write a summary in their notes. What did they learn? Write 2 to 3 sentences explaining what they learned at the bottom of their notes. This is a powerful technique to help your students remember what they learned and did in math that day. Number 3, practice, practice, practice. The best advice for anyone using notes or writing explanatory responses is to practice it over and over again. Help your students develop the writing skills to write their own notes by practicing it. Help your students develop the writing skills to write well-written responses by practicing it. There is a solution to the problem of how to teach notes and explaining math concepts. Try teaching with the right resources. Choose which is best for your class. Use math chats, note-taking, or writing activities. You can plan for a deeper level of understanding of mathematics for your students. Here are the top 3 resources for teaching how to explain with notes and writing. Number 1, math journals, in which students write about how to solve a problem of a math concept. Number 2, math notes that students write on their own and include problems and solutions. And number 3, interactive math notebook, where students write notes, problems, and concepts to help them develop understanding and explain what they've learned. Links to all of these resources are in the description of this video. For more information about the Math Mastery video series, be sure to check out the description. You can grab the notes and resources mentioned in this video. The link to get the notes and resources are in the description of this video. Thank you for subscribing to our channel, Teaching Math and More. See you next time for part 4 of the Math Mastery series.